And hi again, if you came from the yellow video, if you just clicked on this one because you didn't care about yellow. Hi, I'm lycheepunnet, and with me I have Thomas and wkim. We're going to talk about red now.
You didn't miss
Um,
anything in yellow. There was.
yeah, there was a lot of 0-0 oversized cards in an interesting order,
Lots
actually.
of budget cards.
Made us very
Lots
amused.
of budget cards for,
So,
yeah, it was amusing to talk about.
hitting up the beginning card of red is Haruko Yumasaki. These names are ridiculous.
Are they?
Tropical. I don't
They
know. I
seem
can't
pretty normal
Japanese.
Japanese names. They
These
seem
seem
like pretty normal
these
Japanese
seem
names.
very stock names, and they don't seem very interesting to me. Why is this set popular again?
Something about art and bad taste.
Okay,
Did you
cool.
did you notice they had an anime, which means there's probably going to be an anime set coming out, and that an anime set would like lose the only good draw point of this deck, which is like the art.
Wonderful. So, this card is a level 0 bomb that can also pay to salvage when it dies.
Um, cool, I guess.
I don't want it.
I think it's fine. Like early game, it's a bomb, and late game, you can ram it in, pay two, maybe pay a climax out,
And
and
salvage, but
yeah, get like a heal or a counter or something good.
I think it's not bad as a spot
hopefully.
salvage for certain decks.
I don't think it's worth the RR rating. Well, I think it might be worth the RR rating because it does have good utility. I
I mean,
just
if it's probably like better than like a generic bomb, which I don't know what other bombs exist in this set besides the yellow stock bomb. So,
that's not my field of expertise either.
I don't think
Thomas, is there a
not
red bomb that's worth mentioning?
not better than this card. No.
Cool. So you run
So
this
this
because
is
it's
an
just
objective
better than the
upgrade
other
bomb.
one that you have, if it
Yeah.
exists. We don't
Also
know.
because it can salvage anything,
Yeah.
which is
Oh, it can. It
sometimes
just says salvage a character. Beautiful.
This might not be strictly better than the other bomb because that one presumably has more than 500 power, which means if you're playing specifically rewrites green, then that one won't die immediately when being put in the front row. The more you know.
The more you know. um, moving on, I guess.
We have the inexplicably popular Chloe Lemaire Miss Contest. This is an incredible card. It was so good that it was banned in rewrites. 001k. When another character becomes reversed, choose a character. It gets 1k for the turn. So it's kind of insulation to being field wiped. And Brainstorm, one cost, it's spammable. For every climax revealed in top four, choose a girl character in your waiting room and return it to your hand, then drop a card. So it's a salvage
Filter.
Brainstorm, a
Mhm.
discard outlet. It's just really good. Combine it with any plussing engine, and it becomes a pseudo plussing Brainstorm that also gives you a discard outlet. And again, it insulates you from being field wiped unless your opponent has a bomb or are unspeakably large on multiple rows.
Wonderful.
yeah.
Pretty
Card is
solid
good.
card.
Card is good. It's actually
Double R rating earn.
double raw rating is
Uh,
earned for this
oh,
card.
absolutely. Yeah, this card is great back row.
I would run it if I was running mono red. The problem with this card is that you really can only run it in mono red because all the other plussing engines. Sorry, you can also run it in the yellow red deck, but
Yeah, you just grab the clock bond if you
yeah.
really want to.
But besides that, I mean, the problem is colors are still an issue for other decks plussing engine. So
Well, no. What you can do is you can grab
you can play over
red,
it.
the
You
red
can,
blue. You can get the red clock bond to the 1-0, and that
yeah,
takes care of stock issues.
you can play over it too. That's like always a solution if you want to still get your plussing engine. But
I suppose.
but
But it's
next
really
up,
good.
next up is probably the most overhyped card in the set.
I don't know about overhyped, but it was definitely hyped to high
It's the
heaven.
Great
So.
Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
I mean, I just got to play against it firsthand. My experience was, yeah, I have 3 climaxes in my deck, and I'm still gonna be okay.
Dude, but Index is the most OP shit.
Honestly, though, like pay 3, ditch 1, burn 5. I think that's actually like as expensive as the one from Sengoku, isn't it?
Is
Um,
it? I think.
But
I
Sengoku
don't-
was
this
on attack climax combo.
this
This
is
is
the same price as Akane from Vivid Red, which
Oh,
was a playable card, if not an amazing one. In
uh,
fact, this card is exactly the Akane from Vivid Red, except you need a level support on the field to do the thing.
which ditch spawns for the very card that it
yeah.
Yeah, so
enables.
what people might be missing is that the 2-1 level support, when you play it, you can drop a card and get this card back to your hand, which is pretty
And the
insane.
level support is in blue, right?
Yep.
It's a blue card,
Yep.
yeah, and
And
it
the
also
level support
taps. Yeah, it
Yeah.
taps to specifically pump this card by it makes it like 14k or something all
Until
up.
of end of opponent's turn as well. So
No.
Which
What?
no,
is
it's not.
No.
Okay, so
no.
No.
it
No.
It's
No.
only
No.
only until the end of your turn, and
Yeah.
then after that it becomes an 11/5 because it's just a level support.
yeah. The nice thing about this is that it does get to do it on both turns, which is
Yeah,
cool.
that is the main thing about this. Like if you just run into this, they can maybe pay 3, digicard, and suddenly you're dead. Yeah,
Nothing
that's
more
great.
satisfying than killing your opponent on their turn, but
I think there are lots of things more satisfying than that. Like,
quadruple canceling Marika, and then also
uh,
double canceling the other characters.
yeah, that'd be pretty good. And then you play 2 Akatsuki's, empty your entire deck, and then
Go
ram
again.
triple
Oh
ram.
my God, so much privilege.
So,
Hey, I don't actually play decks with Akatsuki. It's set Nisekoi, and I don't play that terrible. We covered this in the last video. That deck sucks.
anyways, card is good. I don't think it's broken. I
Yeah,
don't think it's as good as people think
Yeah.
it is. The problem with Burn 5
yeah.
is that 5 is like this super awkward number where if your opponent has more than 1 to 6 ratio climaxes to cards, which is pretty bad
Yeah.
ratio, they'll still
Five
cancel
is a
you.
huge number. Yeah,
It still
5 is just so
heals.
huge. Like, think about it. You've got, like, say, 22 cards in deck and 7 climaxes. That's pretty normal, right?
You have a one to
Okay,
one to
maybe not.
one to
Like,
one to
how about
three
how,
ratio there. So assume you have a one to four
normal.
ratio, right?
Okay,
One
sure.
climax for every
I'll
four
check my
cards.
privilege.
One climax every 4 cards. Cool. So you have like 6 climaxes in a 30 card deck. This is
I
still
would not be confident about shooting for 5. That's
this is still
probably
like less than 50% chance of dealing damage.
You know the real problem about this card? It's actually Pumpkin Trade, which means that Ash gets an extra 1k he didn't need.
Oh my God.
Moving on,
Oh.
my Ash with I never like I was
Hard
making
count.
this joke before, right? It's like I could make my Ash a girl, and then they made a set with the girl trait, so like that's actually possible without me having to use that counter.
It makes Ash a girl. It's pretty great. Um,
So
yeah,
I have
all
to
right.
balance it out and give him like the male trait, you know,
Muscle.
muscle. Yes.
Muscle
Okay.
girl.
Pumpkin is still good though. Like
Ah.
honestly, probably
Yeah,
the best part
this
about
card
Pumpkin is that it's super easy to splash into the mono blue deck in particular.
Yeah, this card is overhyped, and Japan in particular overhypes this far too much, considering how much of a compression focus they normally have. But it's still a really good card, and you should look into getting some if you're looking to play meta girlfriend beta, which I feel is probably blue-red by now.
Yeah, you probably splash
Yeah.
yellow still for Musashi, but
Oh yeah, you could play tricolor, I guess. I guess.
ultimately, like your top end, if you actually have like Musashi plus this plus the blue card, one that can be a little bit awkward on color sometimes, depending on how much yellow you have. But most importantly, if it does work, it basically says pay 3, ditch 1, get a cancel, and then that could make your other damage more likely to go in.
I'm happy we talked about this because it gives me an excuse to watch the Charlie Brown clip of the Great Pumpkin. I'll do that later though.
Moving on is the Bankama I
Eric,
find
Yep.
particularly heinous.
Erina Mochizuki. I think this is actually worse than the probably worse than the clock bond to 1/1. What it does is it's a clock bond to Fumio, who is a of 5k. She gains 1k in one level if you have this card on the field, the clock bond, meaning she's a 7k level 2 on your opponent's turn.
Mhm.
However, she's really freaking weak on your turn. Like it's a 6k, so they're probably going to side attack you. The issue is any deck that can't beat over a 7k level 2 will be forced into a losing side attack war, or they're going to just be ramming, taking extra damage, which is where this card really shines. If the opponent's cards are too small to beat over a 7k level 2, then you win the side attack war, and
It's
yeah.
7k on your own turn if you have both bonds on the field.
Yeah.
Oh, if you have 2 bonds, okay, sure. So that's pretty good as well. That would make it what a 8k level
8k level 2.
Okay.
You're going to be particularly sad if you play against that one Clannad player, but let's not talk about that one Clannad player.
Or Xeranos kind. That also bombs cost zeros.
My biggest thing is this is a little bit worse than apples in the sense that you have to clock yourself to get the bond, but it's similar to apples in the same sense that it's like it's very cheap level 1
It's
advantage
worse.
engine.
It's much worse in the late game than Apple's, especially considering Psyker's Wish. But in the mid game, I feel it's probably better because you automatically win any side attack war that starts.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they have to
Mhm.
crash if they're not big enough. And if they were too big for Apple's, then whatever, you just pay stock to get it back. Whereas if you have to get this back, then you're clocking yourself, which is not good.
Yeah.
So
So,
basically, this card is great against anything smaller than it, and pretty terrible against anything that is consistently bigger than it.
yeah, I'm of the same sentiment at the moment.
Yep.
But needless to say, I still think this combo is really silly.
Yeah. It's kind of dumb, yeah, especially with counters. I don't
Yeah.
know what counters there are, but I'm sure there's a 2K one somewhere.
Well, 1-0 counter.
Oh,
This one looks.
Speaking of counters,
Oh, what do we?
Ah,
So we've
it's.
this is the Mikoto counter from
Yeah.
Railgun.
If
It's
you
a
have-
101K counter, and when you use the counter, if you have two or more girls, aka always, you get a bit of power equal to 500 times your level.
So it's gonna be a 1500 counter, then a 2K counter, then a 2-5 counter for free.
Yep, so this card shines in Railgun because late game, Railgun just wants to keep their things on the field, and this is a 1025 counter by then. Because they spend a lot of stock and they spend a lot of hand cards using Misakuro, whereas in this deck, I'm not entirely sure they need the counters that badly.
The only reason why I would see you running this counter is that it's a costless counter, and in particular, you can use it with Pumpkin to try to force a reverse on their turn.
Oh, well, there are other things you can do with Pumpkin to ensure that,
Yeah.
but I feel that this card is yeah, this card is perfectly serviceable and is probably your go-to costless counter of choice.
Yes, I think
Yep.
this counter is pretty good. I like costless counters like this.
Yeah, this card is especially good in if you're running the 1185 because it makes it into a 10K for no extra cost, and you can encore it with this counter anyway. It's pretty decent.
good card.
Next up is a filtering card. It's just come and play, ditch a card, switch it with a girl character in your waiting room. Matsuri Kagami.
Every time I see the text auto ability, discard a card from your hand to the waiting room, I'm reminded of the stupid Azusa Akatsuki effect and cursed Bushi Road hundreds of times.
Are you triggered by those
Little bit,
words?
little bit, more than a little bit. This card doesn't have the soul trigger though, so it's okay.
Moving on. Card is fine if you need to get something from your grave.
It's
Being-
really good.
Being
It's-
level
it's
1
just-
is kind of awkward though, because it again means that you're probably only running it in the mono red deck.
Or the yellow red deck we
Or the
mentioned.
Yeah,
yellow red
like-
deck combo.
The thing about this card is it's always good, no matter what level it is. Like there's a
It
card
does
in
salvage
Bakemonogatari.
everything though.
Yeah, there's a card in Bakemonogatari which is 0-0 Ditch a Climax and Experience 4. So there's like a trillion different things you need to do, and that card's still great. Whereas this
Yeah,
card
you
is
need to be at least level 2 in
perfectly fine.
Bakemono for that to work though.
Yeah.
No, yes,
Experience
yes, you
4, like
do. Experience 4 is, yeah.
at least level 2.
Unless you're running standard with that level 4
Visual Arts
not
PR.
talk about that. Let's not talk about that. So this card is fine, I think.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's probably awkward to put out into other decks unless they're running some of this set's combos.
All right.
Cross-color
So
combos
next-
in particular.
Yep. Next card. Momoko Asahina, wishing for a less stupid requirement to become a bomb. If you have two more other blue characters, it gains the ability to be a level 1 bomb. And it has hand encore.
I don't like it.
I think it sucks.
Yeah, it's really awkward.
Can I
Yeah.
get my archer back? That was a good.
Yeah.
That was a good level 1 bomb.
Maybe
Even
the
better. It
bond
was a
combo
cost
were
1
reversed.
bomb.
I'm just not on board with this card. It just seems really mediocre. You already have a level 1 bomb, and the only deck you'd play this in would be probably the one that runs the Erina Bond to Fumio, and
Yep.
it's actually pretty decent in that deck, but I don't know.
It'd be a lot better if the bond colors were switched. So if the Arena, if the Arena were a Fumio and the Fumio were an
That'd be
Arena,
pretty amazing,
Yeah.
definitely.
that
So
is,
she's a dumb requirement, but
Yep.
beggars can't be choosers. I guess you can play it in that deck, but
level 1 bomb with hand encore. Wow.
Woo.
Okay, so the next card is Urara Mishima, which is the 2-1 red counter we talked about earlier that has the bounce
Change.
combo synergy, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it you pay one, bounce it back to your hand, so you have a counter in your hand, and then you get to put the Akari from your hand onto the field.
This is like a
Yep.
hilariously cheap change, actually.
Is it?
It's climax combo, pay 2, put it from your hand onto the field. You
It's
literally
pay
just
2 plus 0.
yes,
And you get a usable
So
counter for the next turn.
and you also heal.
basically, yeah, it's an
And then
advanced
because you
And
summon.
you get to
climax because you
and you.
climax comboed, you surge too.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, because it combos with the same card.
Yeah, so it's a plus 0.
It's a
Because you have
plus.
to play the climax.
Yes,
Oh yes.
yes, it's a
But
plus
if you
So
have
0.
multiple
basically,
out,
it's like
But
if you have multiple out, you still have to play the climax.
at which point it's a +1 for every
Oh wait, yeah,
additional
it's a plus
character.
yeah,
one. It's
it's
a
a
plus
plus
one if
one.
that's the case. But if your hand is 2 of this counter and 2 of that Akari, then your hand is not several Musashi character and several whatever. Like I still think this combo just has too low of a ceiling to be considered in a serious deck.
Yeah.
Sure, I agree. Combo is very cheap though. It's actually like a super cheap way of getting level 3s out.
Budget deck.
Seems fine. Yeah, yeah. This is actually a budget deck card, not like half the crap we were talking about in the yellow video.
What are you talking about, man?
Uh, anyway,
I don't recall
May
seeing a level 3 in red yet besides Pumpkin, so we'll.
there are like 6 different level 3s in the first booster.
Next up is Mei Morizono Fiend Costume.
So she's 217k. That already, again, this doesn't bode very well because it means it's a front row attacker. It gains 500 power for each of your other girl characters. So
219k.
219.
219k before supports. And when this attacks, if I don't know what that climax is,
It's a
but
door.
It's a
Who
door.
is
Okay, so
Akiho?
I assume
Uh,
a blue character.
This also this combos with a 1/0 blue character from the
Sure.
set.
Okay.
So yeah, so if it attacks with the gate, you get to salvage character, which is fine, I guess. It's fine.
It's fine. I don't like doing
Mm.
this at level 2
Two.
because
Yeah. 'cause
I
you just
find it
either
very
just
awkward.
refresh
A
three
lot
out
of
to
times that I
refresh.
notice is like I actually level at level 1 in most decks that just have a brainstormer.
And you already have a really good brainstormer.
So just by
From the
having
set.
a brainstormer, this is like unlikely to actually have like a lot of good targets to salvage.
Okay.
This is my
Well,
experience, but part of like Nisakoi's whole game plan was ha 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 level 2.
Yeah, well, Nisekoi's level 2 is not a fair level 2, so it shouldn't really be the standard to which everything is compared.
Oh, level 3, we found one.
Oh, it's Haruka Kazamachi, Land of Fairy Tales. It's a 3/2 10k. Character opposite gets -1 soul. When it comes to stage, check the top card of your deck, put it on either on
Wait,
top or in.
what?
And if you've got the red stock soul, I read ahead this time, and this attacks, you deal 1 damage.
Oh, that come and play effect is god awful.
Really? I think it's fine.
I would. No, I don't like that effect. You can get that effect on a level 0. Give a level 3 a real level 3 effect,
Well, -1 soul is real if you also have another minus soul ability on it.
which it
Okay,
doesn't.
so
Which-
let's
Mm.
let's just say it has the climax combo. What do you think?
On attack burn is good. Like, I don't know
With
what
a red
else.
stock soul. Red stock soul is great.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can like side attack and then make things happen, make your dreams come true.
In the land of fairy tales.
Exactly.
See, this is an actual budget card.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're playing a deck that doesn't want to spend a lot of money, here you go. It's a 240 yen card according to Ikokukan.
Yeah, really solid card. I'd play this in a budget deck. Alright, so next card, Momoko Asahina, Nervously Rowing, 0025. What is it? Oh. So
Pay
it's
3, clock
cost.
yourself.
Yeah, pay 3, clock yourself. When this is placed from hand to stage, you get to
Salvage
add
2.
2 girl characters from your waiting room to hand.
I actually
that
like
is a-
this. I'm gonna be
I
honest.
don't.
I think it's very. You just, like
It's basically
tech-
putting 2 effects into 1 card and 1 text, so it's a
Yeah,
little bit
but-
more awkward to play with because you
I mean,
actually
the
have to
problem
have
is the
3
upfront
stock.
stock cost.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the upfront
Like,
stock
do you
cost.
do you ever want to pay 3 and clock yourself unless you have a climax 3 cards down?
Not particularly, but with the amount that happens to me, I'd probably play this anyways.
I mean, yeah, if you've got a climax 3 cards deep, then this card is great. You go +2, which is amazing for 3, and a clock, which is fine.
It's literally on cost with like the 2 components of this whole, the pay 1 clock yourself salvage and the pay 2 salvage on play. Like it's literally just 2 effects put into one.
Yeah, but see, paying those two effects on separate turns is way easier because of the way stock works in this game. So I just don't see a place for this card.
Yeah.
There's probably easier ways to salvage, but I mean, if you do fulfill this condition, have fun.
Well, yeah, it's like in Magic. If you have a 4/4, would you rather the 4/4 or two 2/2s against an empty board?
A 4/4 usually, actually though, because
No, you'd want two two
two
two.
twos die to bolt.
I guess. Look, my point is that putting everything on at one time makes it inflexible, and yeah, okay, that was a bad example, but I just don't think that I just don't think that it's good. Paying all of that at one time kind of sucks.
It makes it very awkward to play. I don't think necessarily make it suck, but it makes it a lot more difficult to justify because it's the prerequisite makes it a little bit frustrating.
Yeah. It's also
Yeah,
very like it's just prohibited to play this at level 0 too. Like
I'm not a fan. And if you play to level 0, it's a 2/5. That's all that matters.
yeah.
You lose some value, sure, but did you really want to spend all that to get value anyway?
Eh.
All right. Next character is Haruka Kazumachi, Singing in the Rain. Global
feel
support
like,
for 500.
I feel like you guys should all put in like Singing in the Rain while you're just listening to this particular segment.
Singing in the yeah, it's stuck in my head too. All of your other red characters gain 500 power, and when this is played from hand to stage, another character gets 1/5 for the turn.
Holy Jesus, this is not good.
No, it's not.
What a wonderful feeling.
Anyway, next card.
Why isn't the flavor text the lyrics for that song?
Because Japan apparently doesn't know American musicals.
No. She literally just thought of the lyrics and then she started humming them because
Oh,
she doesn't speak.
Oh
Sure.
wow!
Sure, but they could have just put the lyrics in there instead and would have been like way more sense.
It would also have been like, "Hey guys, sue us."
What? I'm pretty sure that song is like fair use by now.
I don't think so. Like, surely not. It's not like, no,
It's
surely
like,
not.
It's like 50 years old.
Yeah, well, so are like Beatles songs, and those aren't fair use.
Oh.
All right, so next card is Kodama Yamato after the portable shrine. I assume it's shrine and not shine, but whatever. It's an assist 500 in front and tap two characters. Choose a character, and that character gains when a level 1 or higher character of battle opponent of this becomes reversed. Choose a character in waiting room and return to your hand, then disc. So basically, you tap two characters and give one of your characters the ability kill level 1, hand filter from discard pile.
This is very reminiscent of basically all the salvage effects from set 1.
This is precisely what Shana and Little Busters have in on 1/0s that do this effect. Exactly. Wow, that was good English.
Wonderful.
It's fine. I don't see myself playing a card like this because I just don't see myself running a shell where I want this in the back row over something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Back to Chloe.
Chloe Lemaire, photo booth together.
Oh holy crap!
One cost.
What?
When this attacks, if after school date is in the climax zone, I don't know what that
What?
is. Is it 2K one soul?
Amazing.
It's probably
It's two soul.
Oh, it's a two soul?
Plus 2 soul.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh man.
It gains 6,000 power.
It's awful.
So it's a 10/5 that beats over. It actually fails to beat over Soundless Voice. Never mind.
Soundless
And
Voice
it's,
is 10-5 on your turn, so
Okay, so it ties with Soundless Voice, and you might have a support. Cool.
You can put it in that budget deck with all the yellow cards.
No, you can't. That's an insult to all the yellow cards. I mean, if you could play two climaxes at once, then sure, you can after school date to give this 6,000 and then anti-encore something on the same turn.
oh god.
It's the future, guys.
Next
The future.
card.
Pendulum Summoning. Pendulum Summoning.
Stride.
Vanguard not allowed. Hina Nigaki inside the Snow Hut. When another red character attacks, this gains 1/5 for the turn, and it's got Hand Encore. Oh, I should mention its stats. It's a 1/1/5/5.
It gets up to 8/5 for a 1/1. That I recall seeing a 1/1 that's 8/5 always with Hand
Always.
Encore.
Also is clock bondable.
Which may or may not be directly after this.
So, no, moving on.
To exactly what we have been alluding to. Kanata Amatsu Culture Festival. 1/1 printed 8K. And some useless stuff. If it doesn't have the clock bond, then you rest it when it comes to play. Even so, you have the clock bond. So it's 8/5 with Hand Encore.
Cool.
Solid card.
Strictly better than the previous card, assuming you built a deck to use this card.
I think
What
a lot
he
of
said.
cards are better than the last card.
Yeah, I don't think that card is terrible, just not good.
So, this is playable. We already went over this in the yellow section.
Yeah, it's really good. If you guys haven't listened to the yellow section, go listen to the yellow section. We said words. It's just a good card, and I don't want to talk all about it again.
Yeah.
Yep. Next up, Nayuki. Yuki?
Nae Yuki, meeting up.
Nayuki?
Nae,
Nae?
Nae.
What,
So
what
it's
is Japanese?
it is glorious overlords of Japan. 2/1/5K. It's a level assist and tap it to give a character 500.
Dear God, really?
This is so underwhelming for a level support.
So lazy. Really?
I'm just gonna
It's
move
so
on.
lazy.
No, don't, please.
So lazy. Kyoko Tachibana, Test of Courage.
Oh,
2/1/6/5.
I'm just gonna.
It's your least. It's your least favorite archetype. If the character opposite this is a level 3 or higher, gets 6K power. So it's a 12/5
It doesn't
with no
even
extra
gain
soul.
soul.
No extra soul. Therefore, not worth. It's also got Hand Encore, but who cares?
I'd rather it be 13K than have Hand Encore.
This loses. This loses to practically every level 1 that's played. Every
Oh
power. One.
no.
All right. So the next character, we'll just move on to save you.
Why?
What? Are we still on the 2/1 or
No, I'm just like frustrated that they keep printing this fucking archetype.
Moeka Nita, wishing to be an actress? She's assist 500 and 1 cost to kill a level 0 or lower character in the opponent's front row. That
Did I
effect
say
hasn't been
opponent?
good since
Yes.
it hasn't been good since Shana. It's literally not been good since Shana, and Shana was approximately 8 years ago.
Hey, it's good against Toe Man.
Wow.
That is true.
Amazing.
It's good against the Tomans that you can target, so you can't actually get rid of the level 3 or the level. Well, you can't actually get rid of 2 of Toma's different level 3s.
Yeah, but one of them is good, and the other one is pretty bad.
Yeah, sounds
Yep.
about right.
Yep.
All right, so bad card unless you're playing in an all Toma meta, in which case broken card.
Makoto Hiragi.
Hiragi, Sweetness of Success. If you have, it's a 3/5. It's printed as a no. Wait, no, it's not. No.
You
If you have
mean that
two or more
other.
other,
Two or more
two or
other,
more
yeah.
other girl characters, it gets 1K. So this is the worst sort of 3/5. It requires you to commit cards to your back row, which you may not necessarily want in your back row. You might want to clock those cards if you get rushed. I don't see why you'd play this because I'm almost absolutely sure that there's a better oversized level 0 in red.
Besides, you have a level 0 bomb.
Yeah, so speaking of better oversized level 0s in red, next card, Suzuri Shirase, Writing Girl. If this is in the front row center, it's a 3/5.
Please tell me that they have the same thing going on for red that they do in yellow, where we just have consecutive oversized cards.
Kind of?
Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Psycho Arisugawa, Night Together. Up to twice a turn, when another girl character comes to stage, this gains 1K.
Hey, this
So
could
this-
be 0065.
So we are getting to that, and
Wait,
it's
why-
twice per
why-
turn. You can only get to 4/5.
Oh, twice per turn.
Yeah.
Or
So
5.
this is legitimately worse than the one that requires 2 or more other girl characters. Maybe. Kinda, sorta,
Yeah.
not really.
Not
Look,
really.
neither of them will ever see any meta play, so I'm just gonna call both of them bad. Kayasami
Vanilla.
Snowing
Oh,
Day.
vanilla.
Vanilla.
3/5 is the next card.
Oh my
Oh
god, this is
no.
like the exact same thing. Holy Jesus.
Never mind.
Oh no, no, it's not.
106k. When this becomes killed, your opponent may choose a character in your waiting room. When this becomes killed, your opponent may deal 1 damage to you. Moving
Beautiful.
on.
Moving on. Don't play
It's
this
not
one.
actually that, but it's just bad. Don't play it. If you have 2 or fewer other girl characters, you can't play this from hand. Definitely the best common so far.
It's definitely a nice filler.
Yeah, I think so. Momoko Asahina, the results of practice. 2175, another front row level 2. If you have 2 or more other girl characters, it gets 1k, so it's an 8/5 character always.
Oh,
And, ooh, that's not actually too bad. When this attacks, if ensemble concerts in the climax zone, I don't know what that is, maybe a 2k 1 soul. You may pay cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's level 2 or lowers and put it in the waiting room.
you're
So
right.
any,
2k 1 soul.
You're trading a
um,
card in your hand to kill one of their things.
well, when that thing is like an anti-heal or anti-salvage, it can really matter. Still, I don't think like the current state of Weiss is not particularly favorable to level 2s in general, especially level 2s that are only 8/5 and require a 2k 1 soul climax combo, especially if you brainstorm a lot, because that means you're
Yeah.
probably going to refresh without that 2k 1 soul.
Yep. Next up, where are you at? Oh,
Uh, this card's actually not bad. Chloe Lemaire, first right, oh, like Hatsu something or other. 1 cost when this attacks. If you have 4 more other red oh, okay, it's not as good. If you have 4 more other red characters, you may pay cost. If you do, it gains 3k and the ability to top deck its reversed battle opponent. So it's basically an 11k top decker if you have a full red field. I don't hate this.
It's
if you use it with the on attack burner, you can guarantee that 1 damage for 1 stock if you can kill
I
a
guess,
thing.
but that's already a bet that you're pretty willing to make without this effect.
Yeah, I
there's a better card in this profile in the
Yeah.
first set.
next
Yeah, I'm
up.
not a big fan. Another 2/2 10k. When this is killed, your opponent may choose a character in their waiting room and add it to hand. This is better than the other one, but not by much.
Oh my goodness.
The other 2/2 10k.
Just give your opponent pluses.
I mean, this is
Beautiful.
pretty great in standard where you have like an anti-salvage to make this a 2/2 10k vanilla. But by then, you've probably done a lot
Is
of things.
Encore Steps considered to be part of battle phase?
It is.
Oh,
That means
beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
that means Hyoka in Index is actually a card that triggers anti-salvage.
Right.
I think.
I don't,
Anyway.
no, I
No.
thought it says instead.
No.
It's
Does it say instead?
I
So it
think it's-
never hits the waiting room?
yeah, it would never hit the waiting room.
Oh, all right. So it doesn't trigger
I think it just
anti-salvage.
says when a card would be sent to waiting room, you may pay cost.
Yeah.
If you instead bounce
Okay.
it to your hand.
That sounds right.
That is good. Good. All right, next card. Part-time job. This is the first event of the set. It's a 2/2 salvage 2. Oh, wow. I didn't know the set had this.
Well,
Alright.
this is
Standard.
like an existing event in other sets.
You have to be
Yeah.
a pretty miserable deck like Monogatari, or you have to have no advantage engines like Kill the Kill to actually play this card.
Or Log Horizon.
Log Horizon does have some advantage engines, but it plays it because it wants to do the Voltron thing at level 3, where you put a bunch of Akatskis and a bunch of Shiraways on the field, which makes this card okay.
Okay,
Also, they like
I
Go
reread
on.
Hyoka and Index. It does trigger anti-salvage.
That's unfortunate.
Yes, it is.
Slightly.
Hope I don't have to play against Little Busters.
Or Tolover.
it's only bad against Little Busters.
Oh,
Tolover
right,
with
that's right,
Anti-
Encore stuff, yeah.
yeah.
Oh my
It's only
god.
bad against Little Busters because Little Busters is a bad deck that no one plays, so it's okay.
My meta has 3 of them.
Yeah, well, your meta only presumably only has 1 that has the +2 souls.
It only has 1 to 2 souls at least.
Yeah,
Well, that's all the red cards.
yeah.
Red is pretty underwhelming too.
Sucks aside from Pumpkin. I'm just gonna say it.
No,
So-
there's that Brainstorm.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes, there's the brainstorm as well.
level
So,
1 plus red cards sucks
So-
aside from Pumpkin.
2. We got 2 good cards and they're both double rares.
I could see some of the other cards being okay, but I also don't want to actually say that. I don't want to go on the air saying that these cards are good because they won't ever see play.
Alrighty, so this is the red segment.
Oh no, no, wait. Matsuri Kagami's good. The one that's like a filter.
Oh yeah, the ones
Yeah,
that
okay,
escape.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is our red segment. We get to move
Yeah.
on to supposedly the best color in Girlfriends now. Um,
Green.
yeah, screen. It's so
All right.
good they couldn't print any of the cards.
That has to be the explanation, right?
All right, so coming up is the blue section.